Hey guys, so tonight we're making chicken enchiladas with homemade mole sauce. So the mole sauce, I actually started this a couple hours ago, and I tried, again, I feel like every time I make this, I make it a little bit different. So Carson's first question was, oh my gosh, you're cutting up all those onions in it, and if I have an onion, I'm gonna gag. So I actually got Nick, one of his Christmas present was a NutriBullet, and I just stuck 1.5 onions in it and pulsed it. So they were super fine, and it reminds me of, I think it was Andrea that mentioned like she'll make pasta sauce and cut up like vegetables very small. If you don't have a NutriBullet, I mean, they're not that expensive, 40 bucks, but it just makes vegetables super fine. So a good way to get vegetables maybe in for those that in your family that don't like it. So what I've got over here is quite a bit of onion, garlic, cumin, oregano, cinnamon, a lot of chili powder. And I let that kind of saute with a little bit of flour for about 10 minutes to kind of get aromatic. Then I added quite a bit of chicken broth to that. I'm just thinking through everything. And then let that cook for about 1.5 hours. And it ended up getting, you know, like a really, I don't know, it's kind of like a gravy is really kind of what it's like, but it's spicy. The other thing I did is I have the slow cooker, I think I've shown you guys before, is I put 3 pounds of chicken in the slow cooker for about 3.5 hours and just let it cook. And the great thing about that is add a little bit of chicken broth to it, and then I can just shred it right up. And so right now I've got all the chicken shredded, and I've added about 2 ladles of mole sauce. So all I'm gonna do, and hopefully...
And guys, we've done the mole sauce before, and we've done the enchiladas. We're actually gonna show it a little bit different part of the process. We're gonna show how she quick fries up and sets up everything to go in the oven.
So we've got some friends coming over tonight, and this is a recipe that you can actually make a little bit in advance, not a long in advance, but the nice thing is I can pretty much get it all pulled together, and then when I'm ready to stick it in the oven, it just has to cook for ½ an hour. So I'm gonna add a little bit of mole sauce at the bottom here. I've sprayed this with some cooking spray. So all I'm gonna do is let this pan get hot, and I'm just gonna fry these tortillas just ever so slightly, really just enough to soften them up. And then I'm going to do is just add some chicken. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of pepper jack cheese or Colby Jack or pepper jack cheese. Roll it up, kind of put it seam down in the pan. We're going to fill this pan and hopefully at least another pan because I know we'll house all of this tonight. And if I go through this process, which takes a couple hours, and I don't have leftovers, Nick will be mad because his preference is to eat them as leftovers. And then really at the end, once you kind of have all your tortillas on it, you'll just pour mole sauce over the top. We're gonna put foil over it, bake it about 20 minutes, take the foil off, add the cheese, bake it another 10 with no foil, and that's it. I mean, it's really good. And I use corn tortillas, white corn tortillas, and other than maybe 2 tablespoons of flour, there's no other gluten in this recipe. And if you are somebody who wants to avoid gluten, I think you could probably do it with cornstarch rather than gluten or rather than flour, just so that it gets a little bit thick. And the secret ingredient in the mole sauce right at the end is you add a couple ounces of dark chocolate. So it rounds it all out.
How long are we away from throwing that first shell in there?
I don't know, maybe now.
So what we're going to show you how she's thrown it in there. She uses her fingers. She's crazy.
Sorry.
They're calloused. So just frying it up real quick, just to get it to more pliable, really, right, Ange?
Yep, and if you look, you can see they start to pillow up and bubble. So again, we just want them a little more pliable. If you don't do this, they'll just break the minute you try to roll them. And it makes a huge mess. So between the lobster last night and this tonight, I'll be ready to completely clean my entire kitchen tomorrow.
This is definitely a labor of love, but it is so worth it, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So as she goes to pull it out, she grabs that fork. She's gonna throw it right on her
do this so you guys don't
cutting board.
Yeah. We're just gonna add, I would say it's about 1/4 cup. And at the end, sometimes if I end up with more chicken than what I've got tortillas left or room, I just throw all the chicken kind of on top. Because I figure, you know what, it's okay. It never hurts to have more protein. Roll it up and then just place it side down like that. I'll go all the way across and fill this in as I can. But yeah, we'll show you what it looks like at the end.